Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Shannon Storm's Beador woke up in the middle of the night to a home emergency. Shannon Storm's Beador just faced a troubling emergency at home. On February 12, the Real Housewives of Orange County took to her Instagram stories to reveal her carbon monoxide alarm went off in the middle of the night, waking her and her beloved golden retriever, Archie, up to make a fix. Archie appreciated my quick skills to remedy the problem, she wrote over a photo of a deconstructed alarm. Next to the alarm were pliers, a screwdriver, and batteries, presumably showing how Shannon took apart the object to fix its faulty notification. In the middle of the night, when the second carbon monoxide alarm goes off and terrifies your dog, she added over the photo, not too happy about the turn of events. And the alarm says it's good for 10 years and you've been here 3 months. We're glad Shannon and Archie are OK. Shannon Storm's Beador shares an update on her dog, Archie. Since becoming an empty nester in her OC home, Shannon has blessed fans with an influx of Archie content. The adorable pup is living his best life with his mom, enjoying sunny beach days, cute dinner dates, and holiday celebrations with Shannon's 3 daughters, Sophie, Stella, and Adeline Beador. In June 2024, however, Shannon revealed Archie suffered a frightening injury. Archie was bit by another dog when we went on a walk today, she captioned the Instagram post. The dog was enclosed in his front patio, but started to bark and stuck his face out to bite Archie through the slats in the fence. It happened within seconds, and I tried to pull Archie away. The dog mom insisted she and Archie were not at fault when they went for a stroll on a public sidewalk. Archie has never been in a dogfight in all of his 8 years, she continued. Word of advice to people walking their dogs in Corona del March: some dogs can attack yours through their own fence. Archie has been checked by the vet and is on antibiotics for the wounds. He will be OK. Love him beyond. Shannon and Archie currently reside in a cozy home in the OC area. You can get more details on and see photos of Shannon's rental home here. Shannon Storm's Beador's peaceful slumber was abruptly interrupted one crisp winter night. It was a typical evening in her sprawling home. She had enjoyed a light dinner, watched a few episodes of her favorite show, and retired to her bed early to recharge for a busy day ahead. But little did she know, the night had other plans for her. Around 2 a.m., Shannon was jolted awake by a sudden, unsettling sound, a loud, thunderous crash. Her heart raced as her eyes snapped open. For a moment, she lay still, her mind scrambling to make sense of the noise. It wasn't the typical creaks of an old house settling, nor the wind rustling against the windows. This was different. This was something serious. The noise came again, this time louder, unmistakably more ominous. She swung her legs over the side of the bed, her mind reeling with possibilities. A burglar? An animal? A burst pipe? Shannon's mind raced, but she knew she had to act fast. Throwing on her slippers, she grabbed her phone and quickly dialed the number of her security company. The operator answered groggily, but Shannon didn't wait for pleasantries. There's been a loud crash in my house, she explained in a hushed voice. I'm not sure what it is, but I need someone to check immediately. Her heart was pounding in her chest as she crept toward the source of the sound, her kitchen. The house felt eerily silent, with only the faint glow of streetlights filtering through the windows. As she walked down the hall, she noticed a flickering light in the kitchen. It was coming from the direction of the oven. When Shannon turned the corner, she froze. The sight before her was enough to stop her in her tracks. The kitchen was in disarray, and there in the center of the room was the problem: a burst pipe. The water was gushing from the broken pipe, spraying all over the floor and pooling around the baseboards. The mess was growing by the second, and the water had already started to seep into the walls. She gasped, immediately assessing the situation. There was no time to waste. The flood of water could cause severe damage if she didn't act quickly. She rushed to the cabinet where the emergency shoot-off valve was located, but in her panicked state, she couldn't find it. Her mind raced, remembering the countless times she had ignored the importance of learning where everything was in her home. In that moment of panic, Shannon's calm and composed demeanor from her days on reality TV seemed like a distant memory. She was no longer the well-put-together woman that fans had come to know. She was a homeowner in crisis, and the reality of it all grabbed her phone again, dialing her handyman. After what felt like an eternity, he picked up. "Shannon, it's 2 a.m., he groggily muttered, barely awake. I know. There's a burst pipe in my kitchen, and water is flooding everywhere. I need you here now," she exclaimed. "Can you walk me through how to turn off the water, please?" Still sounding groggy, the handyman began to guide her through the process. "Okay, you need to find the shoot-off valve for the water supply. It should be under the sink. Can you find that?" Shannon scurried to the cabinet beneath the sink, her hands trembling as she fumbled with the various pipes and valves. Her fingers brushed against the cool metal, and she located the valve. With a deep breath, she twisted the handle, praying it would stop the water. To her relief, the flow of water slowed and eventually stopped. The kitchen, however, was a mess, water everywhere, a soaked floor, and the damage already done to the drywall. The panic slowly subsided, but the overwhelming feeling of dread lingered. Shannon stood there, dripping wet from the water that had sprayed everywhere, trying to process what had just happened. Shannon's handyman arrived within minutes, his truck's headlights illuminating the darkened driveway. He immediately got to work, assessing the damage and offering a solution. It turned out the pipe had simply worn out, which wasn't something Shannon could have predicted. The repair would take a few hours, but with the water turned off, the worst was over. As the handyman got to work, Shannon allowed herself to take a moment to breathe. She collapsed onto the kitchen stool, wiping the water from her face, feeling the exhaustion of the situation begin to take its toll. It had been a long night, but at least the crisis was under control. Her mind went back to the terrifying moment she'd woken up in a panic. How many people would be prepared for something like this in the middle of the night? It was a rude reminder of the unpredictability of life, even for those who try to plan and organize every detail of their home. When the job was done, Shannon thanked the handyman profusely and promised to do more research on how to handle emergencies like this in the future. She learned a valuable lesson about being more prepared, both mentally and physically, for what could go wrong in a home. As he drove off into the night, she finally felt herself relax. Shannon shuffled back to her bedroom, the adrenaline slowly leaving her system. She sat back down on her bed, taking a deep breath. Despite the chaos and the mess, she felt a strange sense of pride. She had handled the emergency on her own. Sure, she had help, but she had acted swiftly, keeping her cool under pressure. As she lay back down, she couldn't help but think about how she had spent so many years focusing on the drama and excitement of reality TV, only to realize that sometimes the biggest challenges were the ones that took place in her own home in the dead of night. Eventually, sleep began to return. But as the morning light started to filter through the curtains, Shannon Storm's Beador found herself thinking about how life had a way of reminding her of the simple, unpredictable moments that could change everything. And she knew, no matter how much she planned, there would always be unexpected surprises lurking around the corner.